Hi folks, you're with Tassus today at your Pushback channel. Thank you for joining us. In this live chat, I'd like to talk about how propagandists are invented and created and funded, and their sole job as propagandists is to spread propaganda throughout the education system, including even kindergarten and junior school. Now, their role as propagandists is to spread anti-white hatred, anti-Western hatred, to erode any and all confidence in our system, to push climate change as some apocalypse that's going to occur in a few years, get everyone terrified and scared, and to accept total control by the government. So, and this is the globalist sort of globalist cabal game, but just looking at the propagandists is really the focus of this live chat now. There's a few things in common. Wherever you see a book, a children's book, and this is one of the main mediums they get through to children, at least in the schools, wherever you see a book that has anti-white, anti-Western messages, then you can pretty much be sure that it's from the globalist cabal, downtown central invention machine, that the person has been picked and invented, given book contracts, paid for, they're paid to produce hate on whitey propaganda. That's their job. And we as the Western taxpayers are picking up a pretty big bill for that as well. Our own taxes are being spent on methods to hate us. So, I mean, if that's not an irony, I don't know what is. But I'd like to look at some of these people, so I'll give you an idea and a flavour for sort of how they're created and constructed, and how they're used as propagandists with this veneer or pretense that they're just individual operators trying to do good in the world, because that's absolutely not the case. Their job is to spread hatred. That is their job. They're paid to do it, and they're especially picked and promoted and funded and lauded for doing so. So we'll look at one person here. Now, this lady is she's in her mid-30s now, but she's a Jewish lesbian, so no huge surprises there. And she, straight out of college, and she got some ordinary sort of art sociology type degree. Straight out of college, she was given a book contract to write books for junior school, and these books were to promote the United Nations and the idea of global citizenry, to indicate there was no nation states. Nation states had no place in the world, and all things that white people had done to non-white people, all evil and bad, and white people could never be forgiven for these transgressions. Black and brown people are portrayed as being almost like angels from heaven, incapable of doing any wrong at any time, whereas white people are portrayed as being the epitome of absolute evil. And this is how the and facts are invented to support this narrative, and it's just a propaganda narrative. Let's call it what it is. So this or girl at the time, or very young woman at the time, was given this publishing contract straight out of college. Now, she had no expertise in writing. She had nothing at all. So there was no reason why she was given this contract. Now, since she got the first contract, she's been producing something like 4 books a year, 5 in some years. So she's barely producing a draft or something before it's going straight into publication. And if you sort of looking at her more closely, and looking at, say, interviews that she's done, she talks like she's a 10-year-old child, a little chirpy little childish voice. She suffers sort of agoraphobia and can't go outside. So she comes across and sounds like a deeply troubled, deeply disturbed woman. But somehow she's managed to land these very lucrative contracts, and as I say, she pumps out this propaganda several books a year, and does very well. She lives in an area that's internationally notorious for being a lesbian enclave, and so that's the sort of person that they're using to push this propaganda. Now, why you why anybody would pick or select or choose this deeply disturbed woman who's producing, hysterical propaganda, and and outrageously bypassing any fact or evidence that don't suit the narrative. Why you would pick her to do children's books, and then not only getting publishing, but ensuring that the education department is actually pushing these books, this material onto teachers, and encouraging them, and in some schools even demanding that they use this as course material to present to the students. So the white students are being presented that everything that white people did was bad, and they should be the students should be in a state of eternal contrition for all this evil. Now they're just making things up in the book. It's just absolutely making things up. So the only way to solve these problems is for all white nations to be replaced by black and brown people from around the world. That these are the solutions. So they're clearly softening the kids up to accept their own replacement, to be so consumed with guilt and shame about their own alleged wickedness, which is from made-up facts and bullshit narratives, that they simply don't resist their own replacement and tamely roll over and accept whatever treatment's because they're so guilty that they deserve to be mistreated and badly treated. If you're that guilty and the teachers are telling you that, then you don't deserve legal rights. You deserve nothing. And you should be punished for all eternity. And this is the message that these people are pushing. Now, yeah, you can look at almost any of these propagandists. It doesn't have to be just this woman. There's a black woman as well who does the same thing, and a black gay a guy who also pushes the same sort of hysterical anti-white propaganda. And really, they'll pick any incident that maybe is historical incident, and they'll just remove all the facts that make the black people, look bad and so on. Like, there's an incident where the black guy pulled a gun on the white police officers, started shooting at them. Now that's neatly omitted from the story or the narrative. All that stuff's taken. That the black guy already beat someone up, had already shot someone up, all omitted. That's all taken out, and it just focuses on the fact that the black guy tried to run away but was apprehended by police. Then he tried to escape, and he fell, and this sort of thing. So it was the black guy's committed multiple crimes, all of which is removed from the narrative. Instead, it's portrayed as evil white people doing bad things to the black guy. So this is the structure of the narratives that they push on kids. And I've looked at every one of these authors that produces this hysterical anti-white, anti-Western propaganda, and they're all activists. They're all low IQ people as well. You wouldn't say any of them are geniuses, but they're put forward, and they're funded, and they're assisted. They're lauded in the left-wing media, or all the media, the globalist media, as being real experts and high-powered geniuses in their field. But in fact, they're just low IQ people with a lot of personal issues, a lot of personal problems, family environments that didn't work out for them, all these sorts of things. And then they're being used as propagandists, and in some cases being very handsomely paid for it. So whenever you see this propaganda, or your children bring it home from school or mention it, just investigate where it comes from, investigate the authors, have a look, go online, have a look, and it won't be hard. You'll easily find out that these people are just white-hating and Western-hating activists. They shouldn't be allowed to be producing any printed material, let alone what they are, and it certainly shouldn't be in our schools. So go to your school board meetings, write to your principal, write to your member of parliament, and all this sort of thing, member of Congress, and just point out, this material is outrageously false, it's historically inaccurate, and so on, and it shouldn't be in our classrooms, and make a case for that. That's my take on things. You've been with Tacitus Today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.